So welcome to this lesson, and in this lesson we are going to take a look at one of my favorite musical concepts, which is altered chords. And I've really been dying to teach you about altered chords. So basically, what are altered chords? When we talk about altered chords, don't try to picture it like how you will picture, let's say, a major 7th chord, or a minor 7th chord, or minor 9th chord, or a dominant 11th chord. Those kind of chords are definite. So what do I mean? You see, when we talk about a major 7th chord, then you automatically know that a major 7th chord is constructed by playing the 1, 3, 5, and the major 7th note, and then you get your major 7th chord. Even with the inversions, it's still made up of a 1, 3, 5, and the 7th note. When we talk about a minor 7th chord, what comes to mind is 1 and the minor 10 or the flat 3. We have a 5 and then a minor 7th or flat 7. You get your minor 7th chords. So you can easily put these chords into your head and easily construct them. And here is where these kinds of chords are different from altered chords. Altered chords are very, very interesting in the sense that with altered chords, you are the one creating them from these chords that we have learned. These chord extensions, the 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th chords, and even the diminished chords. You see, so we create the altered chords from these chords. How do we do it? Now we know that the word alter means to change, right? So when it comes to altered chords, we are picking these same chords, but what we are doing is we are changing or altering the position of one or more notes from these chords. And when we alter the position of one or two of these notes, then an altered chord is born. Okay, so very similar to, let's say we had a C major 7th, right? And then we changed the position of the major 7th to a minor 7th, and then what did we get? The C dominant 7th. Yeah, so you could kind of say this is an altered chord. Yeah, true, it's an altered chord. But this guy has its own classification, which is different from the altered chords that I'm going to talk about. Now, let's pick a chord like C dominant 9th chord. Now, we already know how to construct a C dominant 9th chord. Now, if I tell you to give me or tell me how to construct a C dominant 9th chord, you easily tell me that, oh, you have to construct a C dominant 7th chord or a C 7th chord, which is the 1, 3, 5 in a flat 7. And then you just add your 9th note to it. And then you have it. So you have 1, 3, 5 and then a flat 7. You just add your 9th. So you have our C 9th chord or C dominant 9th chord. Okay, so how can we alter this chord? Now I can alter this chord to get you or to give you a very popular chord that I use in almost every music I play. C7 sharp 9th chord. Now let me show you how we got this chord. So this is an example of an altered chord. Let me show you how we got this chord. Let's go back to our C dominant 9th chord. Now we know. So remember, for the extensions, we always have 4 classes. We have the major, minor, dominant, and then the major minor. For the majors, for the 7th chords, 9th chords, 11th chords, and 13th chords, right? We have the major, minor, dominant, and then the minor major or major minor. And we are coming to alter these guys. So now this time we're taking a look at the C dominant 9th chord. Okay, so look at the notes carefully. I can choose to alter the 5 by raising it by a semitone. So if I want to raise the G notes, which is the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to raise the G note by a semitone, I'll get to the A flat. Okay, so. And then what do you see there? Now we have a C augmented 9th chord. Now I decided to alter the 5 by raising it by a semitone. So I got what? A C augmented 9th chord. And this time I decided to raise the 9 by a semitone. And then you get the sharp 9 you are seeing on the screen. Yeah. So we have C augmented 7th sharp 9th chord. So even with the look at the name carefully. C augmented 7th sharp 9th chord. Because you see the word augmented, we know that a 5 was raised. And then because we see the number 7, we know that there's a dominant 7. You remember, this is a C7 chord. So the moment you see the 7, you know that there's a flat 7 or a minor 7, not the major 7. If it's a major 7, it will be specified. So because of the augmented, we have this one, and then we have the 7. And now what do you see? Sharp 9. We have our 9. We have a sharp 9 chord. So we've got this chord. So this is a perfect example of an altered chord. So you realize that altered chords mostly come with such names. Something 7 flat 5, something 7 sharp 9, sharp 13, flat 11. You see those kind of names. It means there was an 11 in there, but the 11 has been flattened. There was a 13th chord, the 13th has been sharpened. There was a 5, it has been augmented. You see those kind of things. So with this knowledge, I can choose any chord at all. I can choose any chord at all. I can choose this minor 11th chord, for example. Let's see if we can alter this chord, or we can form an altered chord for the minor 11th. So how do we even alter it? So the thing is, the alteration is on you. Like how you want to alter the chord depends on you and the sound you want to get. So now let me even tell you this before we continue. So I think with what is going on, you can clearly realize that chords, like, is every day new chords are created, and so it's not every time that you go by the book. I mean, you go by the book when you're a beginner, but when in this advanced level, or the moment you become an advanced player, it's like you enter into the world of creativity. You begin to create things on your own. That's why each and every day, so you can clearly see that music is always evolving. For example, play today's hip-hop or R&B or gospel or any kind of music you want, and then compare it to the hip-hops and the R&Bs and the gospels back in, let me say, even 1990, or let me say, yeah, 1990. That's how many years from now? That's about I think 31 years or 32 years, I don't know. But let's just say approximately 30 years ago. Compare our current music to that music there. You clearly realize that a lot of things have changed. The music has evolved. Why? Because music is an art. It's fully creativity. So right now, I've just taught you the concept of altered chords. There are a lot of altered chords. I use altered chords a lot. The thing is, I don't even intentionally recognize it, but I see myself using them a lot. So the thing is, now I've created a C minor 11th chord. We can form an altered chord by altering sometimes even just one note or two notes or more. It depends on what you want to do, what you want to create. So this time, let's just alter one note and see what you will get. Okay, so now which notes should we alter? We can go with any notes. So which note should we alter to create an altered chord? Okay, my eyes are on this guy, our minor third. Let's just lower it by a semitone or flatten it, and let's see what we will get. Now what do you see? A C7, sus2, sus4. Now let's go ahead and see if it is correct or not. A C7, sus2, sus4. Now, why do you see a C7? We see a C7 because of this man. Okay? Because we have the flat 7 inside. And we already know that the 7th or minor 7th or dominant 7th is always for the flat 7. For the instead of the major 7, it's always for this guy, the minor one. So that's how come we have the C7 inside. Now it says sus2 and sus4. So where do you think we are getting our sus2 from? A suspended 2 chord is formed by playing 1, 2, and 5. So you can clearly see 1, 2, and 5 inside. Okay, and this guy, because we brought it here, it's created the sus2 chord. And then why is it talking about sus4? Even though I myself am not seeing a sus4 chord inside. Why is it talking about a sus4 chord? Because of the F note. Now, this F note is the same as the F note over here. So imagine I take the F note from here and I bring it here. You can clearly see that we have a sus4 inside. We have a sus4 inside. Okay, we can take away the rest of the notes and then maintain this. This is a sus4 chord. The sus4 chord is constructed by playing the 1, 4, and 5. So you have a C sus4. So this is the altered chord that we created. It has a dominant 7th inside. It has a sus2, and then it has a sus4 because of the F note. It has a sus4 inside. Okay, so and one thing about me is I'm not mostly particularly interested in the name of the chord itself, rather than how the chord sounds and how I can use it in music. So the question I'll ask myself is, this chord that I've created right now, by dropping this E flat to the D, how can I use this chord? And we'll get there very soon. Now let's, even with this same C minor 11th chord, let's try and create one more altered chord from it. But you see the 11th note. Let me raise the 11th note by a semitone and see what will happen. Now what do you see? A C minor 9th flat 5, right? But this can also be called a C minor 9th sharp 11th chord. Now let's take a look at why it is called a C minor 9th flat 5 or a C minor 9 sharp 11th. Now first of all, I want you to know that the names you are seeing here is produced from a software, and it's obvious that the software can't give you all the names. Yeah, that's what is going on. So it is giving you one. So let's take a look at this. A C minor 9th sharp 11, or you can also clearly see a C minor 9th flat 5. Okay, so first of all, why is it a C minor 9th chord? Take a look at it. This is our C minor 7, right? By adding the 9 here, we get a C minor 9th chord. So it's very clear that there's a C minor 9th chord inside. Adding this one will give you the 11, but now the 11th note has been sharpened, so it becomes a C minor 9th sharp 11, not a C minor 11th, but rather a C minor 9th with an 11 that has been sharpened. And then the software is referring to it as flat 5 because you see, though we can have the C minor 9th chord like this, and then we can directly flatten the 5. You see, this is my 5, right? So we can directly flatten the 5 like this, and then it will still be a C minor 9th flat 5. And then I can choose to omit this note and then play it here, like the principle of inversion, because that's technically the same note, or add this note to it, and it will still be the same flat 5, because this is an F sharp and this is an F sharp. So this is currently a C minor 9 sharp 11th, or a C minor 9 flat 5. You can call it the same way. So now this brings us to our next point. The next thing I want to establish in this lesson: how do we even name chords? If you don't know how to name chords, things can be very confusing here. Also, how do we name these altered chords? Now look at this. Look at something careful. You see, we have the chord extensions, right? So this is 8. So we have the 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay. So if you are naming an altered chord, for example, what we just played right now, a C minor 9th sharp 11th. What happens is the name of the actual chord you are able to identify comes first, before the altered notes will follow when you are naming the chord itself. So it's clear that we have a C minor 9th chord, and then there was an 11th, but the 11th was sharpened. So you have to mention the C minor ninth first before you talk about the altered chord, which was either the flat 5, as the software is saying, or the sharp 11, as I'm saying. And also, do you remember this chord how we constructed? Now, this is what a C augmented 7th, sharp 9. Now, you can clearly see that the sharp 9, which is the altered note, is the sharp 9, which is the altered note, comes last. But then the C augmented 7 comes first. So, first of all, we have the C 7th, and then we have the C augmented 7th. Okay. Now, why did the word augmented come before the 7? Because the augmented note was constructed on the 5. And then we know that the 5 comes before the 7. So the augmented came first. And then we have our 7th. And then this produces the name of the chord, which is a C augmented 7th. However, there was a 9 inside, but the 9 has been sharpened. So then it becomes C augmented 7th, sharp 9. So you can't say, let's say C sharp 9 augmented 7th, or C 7 augmented, then sharp 9. You can't talk like that because, you see, the augmented note was constructed in the 5. 5 comes before 7. Don't confuse yourself with the hierarchy of the numbers, like the 5 comes before the 7. Yes, in the normal way, the 5 should come before the 7. The lower number should come before the bigger number. But when it gets to the altered note, which is the sharp something or the flat something, no matter how small the number is, it should always come after you have named the chord. And that was what happened with our C minor 9th sharp 11th or the C minor 9th flat 5. So let's take the C minor 9th flat 5 as an example. You see, 9 is bigger than 5, right? But the C minor 9 is the chord itself, and then we have added the flat 5 because of the flat, because of the accidental flat. There will be, because of the accidental that you are seeing there, which is the flat in this case. Now we know that accidentals are sharps or flat. Because of the accidental you are seeing over there, the accidentals will always come last. So in conclusion, this is how we name a chord. If it's on a C chord, the C will come first. If it's on an F chord, the F will come first. And then whether it's a major or minor, or whether it's a minor chord or augmented or diminished, they will follow. Right after, then the name of the chord or the name of the extension will appear. Whether it's a 9th chord or 11th chord or 13th chord, it will appear. And then the accidentals will finally follow. Whether it's a sharp something, whether there's a sharp something in it or a flat something in it. That is when those ones will also appear. So we can even decide to have a 13th chord. Now this is a C major 13th chord. And let me alter the 13th note itself by lowering it by a semitone or by flattening it. Okay. Now what's the name of the chord you see? C major 11th flat 13th. And once again, don't mind the major 7 that you see in the software. When there are 2 natural numbers, the lower one disappears. So you have C major 11th flat 13. Now, why is it a C major 11th flat 13? First of all, it was a 13th chord, and then the 13th has been flattened. And we know that the accidental will definitely come last. So if you take away the accidental, we realize that we have a C major 11th chord with a flat 13. And we know that the 13 is bigger than 11. But still, so far as it's an accidental or a chord has been altered by an accidental note, it will come last. Okay. So in conclusion, altered chords are born out of creativity. This is different from chord inversions. Chord inversions refers to different ways that you can play the same chord. But with altered chords, you have the same chord with the same position, the same structure, but you are choosing to change the position of a note, just 1 or 2, or even 3 if you want to create a different chord. So with inversions, we are playing the same chord in different ways. With altered chords, we are creating a new chord from what you already have by altering it. So in the next lesson, we are coming to start learning songs. And in these songs, we are coming to put everything that we have learned in this entire series together in the songs. So you will see 7th chords, 9th chords, 13th chords, 11th chords, you see tritones, and you mostly see, and you see many altered chords. And after playing the song, I will take my time, and then we will go through the chords of that song. And these are very popular songs that you know. These are all popular songs that you know. I carefully chose these songs because this is a song that's very popular, and if you don't even know them, you can easily get them online. Alright, so see you in the next lesson, and let's see what we can do with all the chords that we have learned. Let's go ahead and reward ourselves by putting them in the music and see how these chords actually work.